Hello and welcome to Your Geek News. He's Matt, I'm Nat, and let's get started.
Alright, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Well, now that the cumbersome origin story is out of the way, we can get down to a real Fantastic Four movie, right? I don't know. Almost, yeah. If you break this down, there are 6 main characters.
3 of them which were actually kind of crappy.
And 3 of them that were not so crap. So let's start with the good 3.
Johnny, this is Dolce.
Alright, The Thing. Just like in the first one, Chiklis is a great The Thing.
He's pretty funny.
It plays off Human Torch perfectly. They're the children of the group, so it really works out. I've got to say, in 50 years of comic books, The Thing has not reverted to human form nearly as many times as he has in the last 2 movies.
It must be a contract thing.
Yeah, is Chiklis just getting really sick of the makeup and once or twice he needs to take it off? I don't know. It's weird storytelling, but a good way to show the character actor. I don't know. That doesn't do it for me. But I gotta say, the Rock Wang joke, that was a little over the top.
Okay, well, hold on. How come they still haven't made a Fantastic Wang joke? Please, that man stretches everywhere. That joke is waiting to be made.
I'm sure that'll be in the third.
Anyway, Human Torch, Chris Evans, he nails it. I mean,
this is Dolce.
Yeah, that is such a classic Torch line. Cracks me up, very subtle. Evan lights this movie up just like he did in the first, playing along with The Thing. And the silly power swap thing made him look a bit like a Super Skrull, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was cool CG. It pumped me up.
The effect was good.
Yeah, well, and his casual use of his powers to dry himself up after the shower was... it made up for it. He was pretty hot.
Yeah, that was a serious chick scene, but yeah, it was pretty groovy. I would do that if I could.
It was funny.
Now, down to the absolute best character in this film, it's the Silver Surfer. I've got to say, Doug Jones outdid himself. It was amazing.
Stunning.
The makeup, both CG and practical, was excellent.
Yeah, it was really
seamless.
good.
Very cool. Personally, I would have liked a little bit more glow from the silver, but that's just me being picky. Fishburne was actually really good.
You know what? I agree. I wasn't distracted. Like initially, when I heard he was doing the role or the voice, I just thought, oh, it's just going to be Morpheus the whole time. But he did a pretty good job.
I think he used a different timbre of his voice because normally it's Morpheus deep and blah blah blah. But he used the
I wasn't distracted at all.
More trebly register.
He brought a different character to
it was very ethereal.
To it, yeah.
Very good, very good.
Pretty good.
The only real drawback to Silver Surfer was how much time he had to spend acting with Jessica Alba.
Why are you destroying our planet?
I have no choice.
Shoot!
Wait!
Fire one over the top. Roger out.
Open fire.
Open fire!
So as we all know, Jessica Alba plays the Invisible Woman. I guess first of all, we have to just point out the fact that she's a little too young to play Sue Storm.
Yeah, way too young. She's 23.
It's kind of strange that she's not even the same ethnicity as her brother. I don't know what the deal is with that.
That's strange.
And the other thing is, why on earth did they cast a brunette and dye her hair blonde? There are like
Hollywood is kind of full of blondes.
Millions of blondes in Hollywood, exactly. And then the blue contacts made her eyes look freaky and glazed over.
She looked like a Fremen from Dune.
It wasn't her fault, but I don't know. Whose idea was it to cast the hottest person in the movie as invisible?
Yeah, not so clever. Not so clever.
I don't know.
Now, Mr. Fantastic is probably the one that I'm most conflicted on disliking because Ewan knows how to act.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
But just not in any movie that's called Fantastic Four. Because, I don't know, something about going into an English accent, going out of his English accent, I don't know.
Maybe it's not his fault,
I mean,
again.
He really phones it in on this one. He's too young to play Mr. Fantastic, even with the gray things inside of his head. They tried to explain that in the first one as the cosmic radiation. No, he's just supposed to be an older guy. Like, That's mental. And he's got a beautiful British accent to begin with. And that makes him sound smart
British
in all the
accents,
interviews.
for some reason, make people sound more intelligent.
And then they Americanized this guy, and all of a sudden, it affected your molecules. I just don't buy it. I don't buy that he's the smartest man on Earth. It just doesn't do it for me.
And the tachyon pulse.
Oh, Jesus. If I hear one more person try to explain some kind of BS scientific phenomenon with a tachyon pulse, I'm just going to shoot myself. That was awful writing. But you know what? I've got to say, with the marriage out of the way, I like to think that maybe we can get on to some real Fantastic Four stories now, because they'll start to behave like they're married and mature.
Exactly.
But
They'll get
Jessica
past
Alba,
the whole, who are we? How are we going to have a normal life if we're married? Oh, are we going to have a normal life? Get
blah,
over
blah.
it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, the worst character by far, I'm sorry, Julian McMahon, Doctor Doom. Oh, God. He suffers from the same problem as the Thing. Julian McMahon is a pretty boy, but cast as a masked man. So he gets elaborate excuses to ruin the character by appearing out of costume.
Oh, God. Like, they went to such great lengths in the first one to degenerate Julian McMahon to make him all scarred and horrible and give him a reason for wearing a mask. And then, like...
With one flick.
Yeah, with a wave of the Silver Surfer's hand, bam, he's back to being sexy Troy from Nip
Christian
Tuck.
Troy, huh? I mean, okay, he did have one scene, scar-ridden and bitter, that was
Yes.
actually spot on Doom in front of those monitors. But the line, "Let's go for a spin," pretty much completely erased that from my memory.
Absolutely.
That cheese line was
so terrible.
too cheese. I like
couldn't
cheese,
believe
but
That was bad.
made me throw
That
up
was
in my
so
mouth.
bad.
Yeah.
Now, arguably there could be a seventh character in this film, but I have a hard time qualifying intergalactic weather phenomenons as characters. So I'm going to go ahead and say the whole Galactus debacle was lazy filmmaking, weak direction, just a weak story element all around.
I don't know. I have to disagree. Like, I've argued with this point with a lot of different people. They think that, you know, with our advanced special effects technology and such, that we could make a pretty badass Galactus. And I'm not arguing that we have the ability to, but for some reason I feel like taking that image and translating that to video and real life imagery, I don't know.
It would be difficult.
It would be goofy. It would be straight
be very
goofy.
difficult. Like, if you take a look at some of the badass images from the most recent Marvel video games, Galactus is not wearing bright pink and blue. Like,
Not even
they've
the
really-
coloring. I really just think that a giant anthropomorphic figure hovering in space eating a planet is kind of goofy. I'm sorry.
It's a
Maybe
dated
I'm a
concept.
pessimist.
It's a dated concept, but I like to think that Galactus was somewhere hiding in that cloud, and maybe he actually is a 28-foot monster in there somewhere.
In which case, that cloud was okay, in my opinion.
And Tim Story is just a lazy director. Alright, so overall, great action, fun movie, but the script was weak, and the direction was elementary.
Really, the movie needs an injection of maturity to make it a good film, to be honest. But as it is, it's a fun movie that's raking in big bucks.
And you know what? At this rate, it'll only ever be a movie. It'll never be a good film.
Right.
Because Hollywood's, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
The last one made a ton of money. They learned nothing. This one is making a ton of money. They're going to keep making these. Expect more of the same when the third one comes
Although,
out.
on the bright side, there's talk of a Silver Surfer movie.
That's true. And this is going to up the ante because my favorite writer of all time, J. Michael Straczynski,
Yeah, he's
is
pretty
tapped
excited.
to do the screenplay. Which means
Maybe he'll salvage it, man.
at least the writing will be good. But, you know, he's got a rough hand to be dealt with. I mean, good luck working with that cosmic storm cloud thing, Jay. I don't know.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Nat.
And thanks for watching Your Geek News.